We need money that goes into assets that generate cash. Go from, oh my God, I need $500 right now, someone is dying, to third one. Ooh, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one, and that I would love to see. Hello, if you're watching this, 3-4 of you know that you have these family members in Kinshasa, in Lagos, in Abidjan. No, feels like you're betraying your roots, your culture, your people. We have to break our parents' pattern and cycle that they left. And now, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Noemi and Co podcast. Well, if you're anything like me, you need two microphones just in case one microphone does not deliver. You have a backup one. But anyways, welcome to the New England Me and Co podcast. I know we are in the second week of February, and this is my first video of the year. Please forgive me. I promise. This year, sorry guys, my goal is to be more consistent. I know I said that last year. I promise you guys, I will be more consistent, and I'm going to talk about my new systems and how I'm automating a lot of stuff. That way I can show up authentically. And no, this is not an AI chatbot. This is Noemi in the flesh from my childhood home in Kinshasa. All right, so for today's podcast, you guys, welcome to the Diaspora Playbook. I'm so excited. I took the Christmas holiday break to really think, what are the things that I want to talk about this year? The lesson learned that we're going to keep going. I'm going to take you guys on the ground as I'm learning all these nuances and dynamics. But my prediction for 2026, I'm going to be honest, there's going to be a bigger wave of the African diaspora moving back to the continent. And I think my content is going to become even more crucial to many of you that are thinking about coming back and how to navigate this. But to kick off, to make sure that I'm not off topic, you guys don't come at me for looking at my laptop occasionally, because if I don't look at my laptop, your girl will go in rants and not be on topic. So for today's podcast episode, as we launch our new year, the first episode is going to be on the psychology of betrayal, you guys. Let me just put my microphone aside. And yes, cheers to the new year, drinking my hibiscus juice, BSAP, which we're launching hibiscus for Lubimbo very soon. But you guys, for today's topic, I want to talk about this is a crucial topic to talk about as a diaspora. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of us have had this issue? I really think the number one wealth killer in our community, I actually don't even think it's market opportunity or corruption. That's manageable, believe it or not. It's the unchecked emotional burden and ledger of family obligations. How many of us growing up, I don't know about you guys in Canada, in the middle of the night, I've had to watch my mom cry because she gets an emergency call because her brother's sick, her parents are in the hospital, this kid's education has to be paid for. And out of emotions, my mom was just giving. And then fast forward a couple months later, you come to Kinshasa on vacation only to find out the house was never built, that person was never really sick, the intermediary cousin was stealing the money, putting it in his pockets. My mom being emotional, she doesn't ask for receipts, because if you ask for receipt, then the other person feels like you don't trust them, blah, 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 and the trust is broken. You guys, this is a behavioral pattern in the diaspora, and we need to cut that out. And we need to be more pragmatic. And I really think that we need to transform this capital drainage into a source of capital for generational wealth and strength. So let's get started. Number one problem that I want to talk about, this is the endless emergency drain. We all know where I'm going with this one. You guys, the pattern is very simple. You get the phone call. It always starts with there's a problem, hospital bills, school fees, a funeral. That's the top one. A cousin's business that went south, and the emotional cost of that. You guys, the emotional cost, if someone can please quantify that, is insane. Like, each request comes from a heavy layer of guilt. If you don't give money, you are the bad person. You are the bad family member. Saying no feels like you're betraying your roots, your culture, your people. And the financial reality, guys, that I think that we don't talk about enough, this isn't some kind of planned philanthropy or some kind of NGO work. This is just emotional consumption. It's reactive, it's emotional spending that devastates your ability to even invest in real capital, in real businesses. And that $500 crisis, I'm sorry, it could have been the seed money that you needed to import a container. But no, it's just $500. And then the next month, it's another $500. And I think the biggest solution to that, I'm going to be honest, is a matching fund framework. This one, I know a lot of you may not want to do it and may seem like odd thing to do, but I think for every time someone asks you for a certain amount of money, rather than reacting emotionally in that moment, propose to match them for it. It's very simple actually how it works. So you say, I believe in you, I want to invest in your business, not simply in your emergency of finances. I will match every dollar that you put aside towards your kids' school fee, towards this business, towards that funeral thing. I'll match it. Because funeral, whether we like it or not, people are gonna die, and especially those of us that are in the African diaspora, developing countries or third world countries, the death rate is high. People die sooner due to poverty, poor healthcare system, lack of infrastructure. So rather than waiting for someone to die to be pragmatic in matching the fund, starts ahead of time because you know that it's gonna happen anyway. I think that a more pragmatic way to even match the fund is that cousin that wants to start that $1,000 hammer meal for maize corn. I will match you $500 as an investment if you come up with the $500. That will test that family member's commitment real quick. I think another one, this is more like a psychological win that I would love to see this happen. I wrote this down. You, as a fellow diaspora, I'm talking mostly to millennial and probably Gen Zs, we have to break our parents' pattern and cycle that they left and not repeat the same cycle. Like, you're no longer the parent here. You're the board member to this business investment as you're matching their fund. Like, you need to turn the guilt transaction into partnership and negotiation. And I think the reality has to go from, oh my God, I need $500 right now, someone is dying, to my role is not to fund your cash problem. My role is to help you build something that will lead to a solution that will not sink you so that you have a plan moving forward with cash coming in as emergencies will occur. Because emergency will keep occurring whether you like it or not. Let's go to problem number two. You guys, this one I wrote it down. This success in silence is impossible. So I think there's a notion here that once I make it, once I have enough money, once I have this, I'll be able to help everyone. You guys, that is a fantasy and that will not happen. And let me tell you why. The reality is in our communities, it's very interconnected. So what that means is success is public. That being said, I think many people in our community, especially the Congolese communities, no shade, I know my fellow sub-Saharan Africans, Nigerians suffer from this, Ivory Coast suffer from this, Congolese, we're just like sapology on high. I think there's something about coming from a historical poverty mindset where the moment you have that car that you didn't think you could ever have, the moment you have that house, you feel the need to flaunt it. You feel the need to show it off. You may post it on social media with good intentions, but at the same time, I don't think it's very wise. That being said, I love traveling. Even though sometimes with my travels I'll go budget, I love traveling. So people see my content may think that I'm flaunting my wealth. It's not my intention. But what I'm trying to say is going back to this idea of like success is in silence is impossible. I think that in our community, what happens is you are posting your latest car in Canada, in the US, in Europe, or your house that you got because you're proud or because you want to flaunt it. But what that does, it creates a sense of like toxic undercurrent. So what ends up happening, you will feel hunted, and those around you in our community, even overseas, will feel entitled to your success. What I mean by that, it kills the joy of your achievement. So I think the solution to that is be transparent, but be proactive in how you position your wealth. So I'm going to give you guys a very simple example, okay? What you need to do is control the narrative. Like, instead of talking about your wealth in the context of like what you have, talk about it in the context of systems. So what that does is that you position this, okay, instead of saying I just got this brand new house or this brand new BMW, what you say is in the business has equipment, we have inventory. The shipment is tied up. So what that means is your wealth is tied to a system, not necessarily to material positions, which the community then feels like he has money, I'm entitled to it. If you say that, oh yeah, super proud of what I've achieved, but our capital is stuck in the shipment and the container, they still see you as a boss, but mind you, they're not going to come up to you and ask you for money because in their mind, you have money coming up, but it's tied to that shipment. And I think what it does, it makes your wealth complex. And that complexity makes your wealth inaccessible for casual withdrawals. And I think it's not, you're teaching people to not see you as a free ATM or free wallet. You're teaching people to see you as a system. And once your wealth is tied to a system, it's very difficult for the average person to just make those calls and ask you for money. The third problem I see, you guys, this one, and again, I'm referring to my laptop because I made so many notes. I didn't want to miss out. You guys, this third one, ooh, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one, and I don't care. You guys, the black tax. The black tax, I'm sorry, it's a trap. It's not a virtue. I had to write that down. Like I had to write that down. You guys, we've been sold this lie that carrying the entire family financial burden is some kind of cultural duty or virtue. You guys, it's not. It is not. It is a recycling poverty program. Let me repeat that. A recycling is something that comes in and you transform into something else. In our case, it comes in, comes out as poverty. Comes in, comes out of poverty. Like it's a recycling of poverty program. When have you ever seen anyone in any culture, any environment succeed when the entire generational wealth is built on one person making it per generation, and this person is immediately anchored down by everybody else's financial burden? You are unable to build true, scalable, intergenerational wealth. You just cannot do it. And this cycle repeats itself. And you guys, this is the one thing that I wrote in like bold letters. The stress that it causes on each individual that has to carry that burden, you guys, my heart goes out. I'm beyond grateful for my parents for breaking that cycle in their generation. They took the burden, they took the emotional baggage. My siblings and I, we did not. We are very blessed. We give when we feel like it. And even me, real talk, all my family members, they know me. Don't call me with emergencies. Like, I don't do that. Like, even funerals, I'm so sorry, but no, 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 no. Like, I don't do that. What I do, I created like a financial system for my siblings and I. We put money together every month. It's like an informal insurance scheme. And I put it in an interest account. When emergencies come up, I will allocate it to that. Or I'll even get smarter. Instead of just like paying per emergency, I have a relationship with like 2, 3 cemeteries. So then instead of me paying directly for that funeral, no, 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 no. You're kind of an investor in the cemetery, and then they give you a discount price and you pay for that, and that's your contribution to the funeral. You ain't gonna see me give somebody cash directly because I'm then enabling bad behavior. And I think this stems from the black tax. Like we feel this emotional burden, and if you don't help your family, if you don't carry their burden, you are a bad person, you are evil, nothing is gonna come for you, and you like have to enable their dependency on you. I'm so sorry. And what that causes is major chronic stress. You guys, in our community, I don't know about those of you watching, the Congolese community, the rate of strokes and heart attacks in the last 3, 4 years has skyrocketed. Mind you, there's also poor diet issues involved, but the stress, my prediction is most people are going to bed miserable and stressed and carrying that mental load. And what that does, it literally clouds your judgment. You cannot make business sound decisions, think logically, critically out of emotions. You are thinking impulsively. And what comes out of that? And I think what also happens with this chronic stress, it makes a lot of people in our community very risk adverse to business. To build a business, you have to have a certain risk tolerance. It has to be calculated risk, but it is a risk. When I decided to leave my life in San Diego, move to Congo to build these businesses, it's not logical. It's literally insanity if you really think about it. But I knew that I wanted to take that risk and it will pay off. But you cannot think this way when all you have in your mind is a database of things that have gone wrong in the past, people that have taken advantage of your money, the stress that's come with that. You're just like, I'm tired. Let me just be miserable at this dumb 9 to 5 job in the West and call it a day. But I think that we have to be honest, this black tax has led us to these emotional drainage and chronic stress that if we were to be honest, whether it's our parents or you watching, we've also enabled that behavior. You train people to treat you a certain way by how you respond to their needs and their emergencies. And I think the biggest solution to that, I had to write this down. I think it's we need to become a bridge, not a bank. Like you cannot be I mean, you're not even a bank because a bank makes money from interest. A bank makes money from you borrowing. You're not a bank. Don't lie to yourself. You are literally just a free ATM with money coming out. Meanwhile, you're like operating in the negative emotionally, financially, but you feel this need to get societal approval in our community and keep giving out money that you clearly don't have. And I think the solution to the black tax, I wrote a couple of things. I think one, this will be my dream. I think we need to turn this virtue of like owing these people per emergency that they ask money into redirecting the fund. So what do I mean by that? Instead of paying for your five cousins rent, do what one of my friends did. One of my friends just outside of Addis, she built an apartment complex. And literally what she did, no, shout out to my girl. Like what she did, she hired a few family members to handle the labor. One family member, like a distant cousin, he's the cleaner. The other family member does a bit of the property management. And then they have tenants. So what happens is that same cousin I used to call her for emergencies now is working there in as a janitor. Like, what are you gonna do? Call her for emergency, ask you for rent money? No, you're labor. Like you have a job and I pay you on payroll. And I think what that does, it teaches our family members to be part of the architecture rather than just expecting it. And I think another sort of like model that I would love to see in the diaspora. Please, guys, take these ideas, run with it, implement it. I would love to see fellow diaspora members funding a school. So, what do I mean by that? You're not just paying the school fee for that family member or for that cousin. Like the amount of family members that I know or friends of the family that will call my parents, be like, oh no, it's January, my kid's tuition fee is due. My dad's like, you knew since the beginning of time when you had this child that every January tuition is due. Why are you waiting at the last minute to ask me for money? So I think a good solution to that that I would love to see. Hello, if you're watching this, three, four of you know that you have these family members in Kinshasa, in Lagos, in Abidjan that have kids in these schools, in these public schools. Call the school, propose to create like a fund. One of my favorite communities of wealth is Jewish communities. They do this all the time. They have these like education fund in these private schools in New York. It's a way to get the other members of the community that cannot afford private schooling to move up in the socioeconomic by creating like an education fund. And the beautiful thing with this model, in the case of countries like Congo, Kenya, you guys, it's actually not that expensive. You literally could be watching this and be like, instead of me giving money to the family member that's always asking me for money, how about I ask them the name of the school where their kids goes and I donate to that school's lab? These labs sometimes just need toolkit that you can buy on Alibaba or Amazon for like 20 bucks. Literally get it donated to the school and you tell the school in exchange, my one family member that goes there, if you could reduce their tuition costs or completely waive it because what I'm giving as a donation to your lab for the year is equivalent to their tuition for the year. Hello? Why don't we do that? And literally another thing that I was thinking about is like this is the ultimate shift that we need in our community. Like we need to move from consumption support, so money that just disappears and is based on emotions and emergencies, to capital investment. You guys, we need money that goes into assets that generate cash. That way, instead of just giving money based on emergencies, not only are we building wealth, we're also teaching our community members, whether that's in sub-Saharan Africa here or overseas, that this money ain't free. You want a part of it, you have to contribute. I'll either match you, tell me the school where the kids go so I can donate a fund. And I think you guys like, I really pray and hope that as a community, we start doing these things because I have seen so many members of the diaspora be discouraged from building on a continent and be betrayed by family members and just be angry and bitter about that. When in reality, if you take accountability, whether it's your parents, whether it's yourself, you can't really blame yourself too much. We live and we learn, but please learn and know that by you always giving money based on these emotions, these emergencies, and these reactions, rather than using that money as an investment tool towards a school lab, towards matching for a mace hammer mill, something, you're also enabling bad behavior rather than creating wealth. And I think in really like in closing, what I really want you guys to take away from this, like, and I had to write this down so I don't butcher it. There needs to be a shift in what I call the diaspora playbook. It's about changing the game from one where you are the prize to be eaten to one where you are the architect building a table where everyone can eat, right? Like it's the difference between you're taking advantage of versus you're the one orchestrating where people get to benefit and you get to monetize out of it. And also, on shameless plug, Diaspora Playbook is my upcoming pragmatic workbook. You guys, I'm so excited about this. I've been working on it for 6 months. Please hold me accountable. The last part, honestly, is just for this book to be designed and released, and it should not take that long, but I'm such a perfectionist. So I'm giving myself a 3 months deadline. We are mid February. I want by May for this book to be launched. You're gonna love it. I'm taking everything that I've learned the last 3, 4 years of living in sub-Saharan Africa, and I'm giving it to you in a pragmatic way with your notebook, and it's gonna be available to you. I'm so excited. Yes, a lot of the content is gonna be based on DRC Congo because it's my native country and it's where I've been for the last 4 years. But I've traveled most in many African countries, and I've come to the conclusion that a lot of our challenges are not as unique as we think in country, and I actually think it's beneficiary when other cultures, other African countries, we learn and work with each other, and I think that's going to be the future of diaspora collaboration. So super excited about that. But this is the first episode of the year. Make sure you subscribe. And oh, by the way, I have a Substack newsletter. There's a link in my profile. Make sure you subscribe to that. I've been getting so many beautiful comments and email. Thank you guys so much for those of you that have been commenting on my Substack and sending me emails thanking me. My newsletter and Substack, I'm so transparent. I'm like, at some point I may get killed or arrested for this, but it's beautiful to see that some of you have told me that I've helped you guys save thousands of dollars in mistakes. So make sure you subscribe to my Substack where I take you through step by step of how to navigate business in the continent, and make sure you follow my YouTube. Thank you. Happy New Year.